The previous stage, stage red, was basically all about doing what you want in the very moment and don't care about others. But at some point you realize, okay, we need some common ground. And then you basically start transitioning to stage blue. Stage blue is a collectivistic stage, and it is basically the start of civilization. It started about 4,000 years ago. It is all about rules, law, and order. It is about clear structures and clarity. Stage blue values hierarchies. They value clear hierarchies and they obey authority. And they don't necessarily obey authority because the supervisor is more competent, but more because he's higher ranked. There's this order that somebody who is above you, you gotta listen to, and you do what he says, because he has the tag of the supervisor. For stage blue, security and stability is very important. Also, they want to preserve the culture and not questioning status quo. And this leads to low open-mindedness but high dogma. Because absolute truth cannot be questioned from their point of view. And that's why stage blue has this strong we versus they thinking. They have this in-group, out-group thinking. And that's why racism is something that occurs in stage blue. Only one ideology is true. Only one religion is true and the others are wrong. Everybody else is wrong. Blue enjoys comfort and not having to go beyond oneself or questioning the status quo. People usually get married and they stay married until they die because that's how you do it, even though you don't love the partner truly. In general, they anyway have a different understanding of what marriage means than all the other stages. Though virtues of blue are loyalty, justice, being diligent and having discipline, also being honest and being on time, for example. So it is really important for them to have this clear order and structure, but they do what you tell them. Stage blue now can actually take a second perspective into account, so they can empathize with others. It is the first form of empathy. And because they have that, they start to feel shame and guilt. But of course, morality often is just based on dogma, not questioning it. But still, they feel if something is going wrong and they did something that people should not have done. And that's why they feel guilty and ashamed. They also think about what others think about you. At least other people within your in-group. They don't really care about what the out-group thinks about them. But it's very important what other people think about you within your group, basically. So for example, if the mom says, "Don't leave the house like that, son," what will the neighbors think about you? This is a classical stage blue statement. Examples of stage blue are the church. The church is all about not questioning status quo. It is about believing, not experiencing. And in fact, people who are turning into stage orange and growing into stage orange, those are the people who start to leave the church, because orange is about rationality and science and not just believing some dogma that somebody tells you. Most school systems, they're still in stage blue. It's all about order, doing things according to the rule, just behaving well. The smartest children in schools are usually the children who can adapt best to the system and just do what they're asked to do and learn things by heart. So that's mostly still stage blue. In general, about 30% in Western society are still stage blue. In Germany, for example, you can really observe that people living in villages, they tend to be more blue, while people moving to the city, they tend to be more orange, because they realize, hey, I have my own destiny in my own hands. I can do what I want, and I want to seek the opportunities, and that's why I'm leaving my village and I go for my own personal hero's journey. The military tends to be blue as well. Of course, not everybody is blue who is in the military, but it tends to be a blue institution. Mandatory military service, that's something blue. There are also a lot of large organizations who are stage blue. Usually they exist then already for a while, and there's a certain degree of safety. And for them, it's not primarily on growing very fast. They have already a fixed position in the market, and they are very much aligned with their rules, and it's hard to make a change. Change management is really difficult in those kind of stage blue companies. All major decisions are just made in the management, and including any employees is out of question. It's a classical stage blue thinking that if you work for 20 years in a company, it is not possible that then a younger, more talented guy is coming around who's only working there for 3 years, who's then becoming your supervisor. That's stage orange thinking, but stage blue would hate that. Anti-immigration, that's stage blue, also anti-gay movements. Because again, it's about in-group, out-group thinking. It's about staying in the status quo. And change is nothing that stage blue likes or can adapt quickly to it. It is more uncertain for them, and everything that is uncertain is bad or is wrong. Now, as you probably already realized, stage blue has really deeply positive parts within them. For example, order, having really an ordered system, reliability, structure through hierarchy, safety, perseverance, loyalty, cohesion, respect, justice. Those are very important and foundational virtues you need if you want to, for example, have a stable business or a stable life. Though negative parts here are racism, rigid thinking, blind obedience, being afraid of new things, and only doing what you are responsible for, not thinking any further. And again, if you want to grow, you got to realize the upsides and grow out the downsides. Dive into the stage, learn the lessons, and then you will naturally grow. Just by learning about this stage cognitively, you will not grow faster. You really have to experience it and dive into it. So just learning about spiral dynamics is not helping you to grow faster. I mean, if you're in a transition phase, this might really help you to identify where you're at and what kind of experiences now you should throw yourself out. But if you're in the middle of any stage, you just have to really experience it and dive into it and reflect. If you identify somebody as being deeply blue, your communication should be as following. It should be formal. So if you, for example, give a workshop and treat everybody equal, even though there are hierarchies, the supervisors will hate you. So really be formal. Talk in a clear and simple way. Use short sentences and talk very structured. Again, if you give a workshop, give them a clear outline at the very beginning. They love that. Show that you value them and really mind the hierarchies. That is very important. A lot of people, they misinterpret stage blue and they think, oh, they're already stage green. That is great. Everybody's equal and let's share some love and let's be very friendly and connect deeply. But if you do that and you don't mind the hierarchies, you will not be invited anymore if you, for example, are a coach coming there. Don't talk in a creative and subtle way or use high-level metaphors. People at stage blue, they can't really deal with that yet. You're not getting ahead with any of this kind of language. If you give them a compliment, tell them you did everything correct, that is great. In general, stage blue also wants to be controlled. They need that. You can't just give them a task and then let it go and say, yeah, let's meet in a month. No, they want to be controlled and see whether they do things right or wrong. They feel nervous if you don't control them. So control them once in a while and then give them a compliment. They like status symbols, but awarded officially. So really focus on the status, not on prestige. They, for example, really like to have a golden pen awarded, not a Ferrari. That would be, since it is a collectivistic stage, that would be rather, they would feel uncomfortable having a Ferrari and nobody else has a Ferrari. They just want to have this status, but it is more an official kind of status. Hey, I'm the supervisor, or I'm having this golden pen because I'm a little bit better or higher than you, but it's not like I'm having this huge yard. If you want to criticize them, you could do this, for example, the following way. You should have been done after 4 hours. I'm upset that you didn't finish yet. Here you really emphasize that there is a rule. So we said after 4 hours you're done. That is basically the rule. And you didn't do this. So if you're saying it in this way, they will feel really guilty and ashamed that they didn't do this, and really give them those clear requirements, what they need to do. And here you really don't necessarily need to tell them why. Blue is not really caring so much about the big picture, why. They just want to know what is the rule and what they need to do. And if they're getting done what they're supposed to be done, then it's fine. Blue in general loves checklists. So give them a checklist if you're delegating them something, for example. They love it. Make some rules. They love that. And dress yourself appropriately. They take you serious then. If you don't dress in an adequate way, they don't take you serious at all. This is very important. If you want to motivate people and they, for example, get a higher salary, then just emphasize, for example, that now they gain a higher security for their family or whoever. This is basically, again, just as a value of stage blue. Just go through the list of stage blue and then just emphasize this. Now we got a clearer structure. Now we got more safety. If you say those words, they will love it. You're really on one wavelength then. We already talked about they like being controlled. That's how you also motivate them to check whether they're on the right track and then say, okay, you're on the right track, that's cool, or you need to change this and that. And they like that. Otherwise, they're very insecure. Your leadership style in general, and you as a leadership role, you really should talk and behave in an authority way. That's when they really take you serious. Now, obviously, spiral dynamics is a very nuanced model and people are different in different areas in life. And there are even nuances within stage blue. For example, in the very beginning, if people, for example, go out with their friends, it's in the middle of the night and there's a traffic light that is red, but no cars around, nothing. And then your friends just cross the road and you will just follow if you're in the beginning of stage blue. The end of stage blue, you would remind the others. You're extremely rule-oriented and say, independent of what others do, hey, we gotta wait here. It's red. That's against the law, guys. That is rather the end of stage blue. And then, of course, you further develop your way of thinking and your behavior. Again, realization is key if you want to transition. You will think about, why should I follow all those rules? Why? Is it for the afterlife or what? Why not live in the very now? I'm responsible for myself. And if I perform better, I get more rewards. I think I should do my thing and be independent and live up my individuality. This is then, of course, stage orange. That's going to happen, that we will talk about in the next video. Now, in general, I really encourage you to think in a big picture way. Blue is a key stage. It's very important. It's a very important foundation, and there are so many important lessons to learn within this stage. So take this serious. Don't judge those stages in negative sense. Don't walk around life and categorize people and say, oh, you're still stage blue. That's such a low level and stage blue is bad. No, don't demonize the stage. Take the important lessons out here. That's a huge foundation. But then also move on and outgrow the negative sides and have then this major transition to stage orange.